Hi guys, today I'll be talking to you about DNS. So what is DNS? DNS stands for Domain Name System, and a lot of people will kind of refer to it as like a phone book of the internet. So the way that people interact with information online is through domain names or website names, but web browsers don't work the same way. Web browsers actually interact through IP addresses. And so what DNS does is it'll translate those website names or domain names and actually translate it into IP addresses that the web browsers can read and use to load internet resources. And that's kind of where it gets the name of the phone book of the internet, because it associates the website name with an IP address in the way that a phone book gives you someone's name and then their phone number. Each device that is connected to the internet has a unique IP address, which other machines will use to find that device. DNS servers eliminate the need for people to memorize IP addresses and instead lets them remember easy to learn web page URLs like Amazon.com. So how does DNS work then? So there are 4 servers in the DNS process. There is the DNS recursor, the root name server, the TLD name server, and the authoritative name server. And it goes in this order as well for the process. So the way the process begins would be an end user opens up a web browser and types in a web address, so Amazon.com. This begins a query, and then the query will be sent to the DNS recursor. And the DNS recursor acts as a middleman between the host and the actual DNS servers. So the first place that the DNS recursor will send the query to is the root name server. The root name server acts as a reference to more specific locations of where to look to get the information you need for this query. So once the root name server sends back information to the recursor on where to go, it'll then talk to the TLD name server. TLD name servers are typically looking for the end part of a host name. So .com, .org, .edu. And so that helps narrow down the searching for your specified information that you're going to. So then once it sees that, it'll then, tell the recursor where to go to look for it in the authoritative name server. So then it goes to the authoritative name server that it was pointed out to go to, and that's the final step in the DNS process. So then it sends the query to the authoritative name server, and the authoritative name server will look at the actual domain name, so it'll look at www.amazon.com, and it'll look for a record within it. And then with the record, it will be tied an IP address. It takes the IP address attached to that record, and it'll send that back to the recursor. And so this is the final step in the process, is the recursor then sending it back to the host, and then the host has a direct connection with the server that the IP address was given. So then the host can access all the information it needs from that server itself. And so that is the end of the DNS process.